Okay, so, I mean, each and every one of you, I appreciate you taking your time. I think it'll add a lot to the city. Hopefully, it will add to your bottom line. But there's a whole bunch of steps that need to be gone through. So we're going to just kind of ask everybody's indulgence as we start, okay? Was the meeting posted?
Yes.
First on
I'll
the
take
agenda.
up a matter to do with this special one-day license application for malt beverages and wine only. Peter O'Sullivan of the Lowell Festival Foundation for Saturday, July 17, 2010, from 5:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. The event is a wine tasting at the Boarding House Park at 40 French Street.
Okay, Peter, if you'd come up, introduce yourself for the record.
And as you know, I'm involved with the Lowell Summer Music Series, and we had an opportunity to have the folks from Yellowtail Wine want to sort of market to our audience, you might say. So what we're dealing with is very small, 1 ounce, 1.5 ounce, I believe is.
Yeah, that's what they used to say in school. I'll just drink a couple of little ones.
There's a couple of little ones.
Yes, short ones. I seem to remember that. So I read about it, you know? Yeah.
So they have, there are
Where's
various.
the company from, Peter?
They are from, well, I know this.
They're a big
I
name.
believe,
Are they a national company? Yeah.
where?
Okay. Yeah, they're telling me they're a national company?
Or
They're national, Yellowtail is a national company, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, is this
It's a one-time thing.
yeah,
And what they did was they picked the Joan Armatrading show this Saturday night, which is a very low-key kind of, well, a little different than our Jimmy Cliff show, which was a little raucous reggae show we had last Saturday night. This is sort of a little more easy listening and middle of the road. And the whole idea is for them to have visibility with the audience. We do this, of course, with folks like Honest Tea and Bare Naked Granola and, you know, all these food brands that like to market to our audience, and we have a little niche doing that. This is the first time we've actually had a wine company. And
who's going to serve the wine?
there will be staff, it'll be staffed with folks that they will bring who are trained to card people and to limit the quantities, et cetera.
Okay. All right.
But very much under our supervision.
Well, the license is going to be in your name, Peter,
I understand completely.
okay? It's not in the Summerfest or anything. Your name is on the ticket.
Right.
Something goes wrong, they're going to be on a plane back to Australia, say, nice knowing you, mate. Hire a lawyer, we'll see you later, you know?
Right.
God knows we got enough lawyers.
Which is why we're making sure it's fully limited and appropriate to our venue, because we don't want any trouble either. As you know, I mean, by the way, we could, at our venue, at our concerts, come to you for a license to sell
Yeah.
alcohol, beer and wine at all the shows and whatnot. We choose not to do that. We don't do that. So this is actually a little out of character, even to have, and this is, again, only wine, no beer, in very limited quantities. So I guess it's a bit of an experiment for us, but we will see. And I do understand the responsibility that goes with it.
You run a great, you know, you run a great show, you run a great venue, the whole thing. I mean, it's a tremendous asset to the city, you know, and you know, you're kind of going into uncharted waters. So, you know, you've got to get your staff together and say to them, look, you know, we might not be the ones actually serving the wine. Are you going to give it away or?
Yes.
You're going to give it away?
Yes.
Okay. So, you know, we might not be the ones serving it, but, you know, you've got to keep your eye. I'm sure that you've had folks, you know, at the music that's had a few beers before they got there, you know, and all they need is a couple of wines to flip them over the top.
Right.
So, I mean, as long as you're aware of that fact, I mean, it would be an absolute disaster to see something go wrong.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, it would reflect
for the
very
summer
badly on the whole
series.
series. We've been
It's
at
a
it 21 years.
wonderful asset to the city.
Yeah, so.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
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 Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Next on the agenda.
Commission will now take up matters to do with amplification permits for special events. Blue Shamrock, Nicholas Petrakis, president, for sound system for band during the Lowell Folk Festival weekend for an enclosed area adjacent to 105 Market Street. Also, ATP Restaurant, Inc., doing business as Cobblestone's Robin E. Tupel, representative for band acoustic duo with sound system for the Lowell Folk Festival weekend within an enclosed area adjacent to 91 Dutton Street.
Okay, if you'd come up and introduce yourself for the,
Nick Petrakis from the Blue Shamrock.
okay,
Robin DuPel from Cobblestones.
all righty. You know what I call permit for amplified music? It's called a permit for common sense. If you walk 4 or 5 blocks away and you can hear the music, you have no common sense. It's not working, okay? There's going to be many other venues in the same areas. We've issued an awful lot of amplification licenses. We do not want a contest between one group and another group trying to drown each other out. You've got to keep it maintained to your particular area. The festival is primary over everything. If somebody from the park or the festival comes to you and they say, shut the music off, shut it off. Don't go trying to find somebody to get them overruled or what's wrong or anything. Shut the music off. If there's some dispute about it after, we can address that issue later. But at that point, the music gets shut off. Because the primary thing is the folk festival and the folk festival music. So if you walk down the street, Nick, to the end of Market Street, and you can still hear the music, something's wrong. Okay? Because, the restaurants up the other end on Palmer Street are going to have outdoor music also. So you're all within 1 block of each other, you know? Somebody's going to have to come up with these radio headsets. When they come to your place, you put a radio, you can hear our music, you know? I don't know. Anyways, okay? Common sense. Hey,
I'll make a
let me
motion
tell
to
you.
approve.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
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 Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We hope you have a great weekend.
Commission will now open a public hearing on an application by Mambo Grill, Inc., doing business as Mambo Grill, Frankie Dakota manager, the all-alcoholic beverage restaurant licensee for premises at 129 Merrimack Street for alteration of premises. Mr. Chairman, this is a public hearing which anyone may wish to speak
Okay.
in favor or against.
Introduce yourself for the record, please.
My name is Frankie Dakota.
Okay. Why don't you let me see if there's anybody here who would like to speak on it first. Anybody speak in favor of this? In favor? In favor? In favor? Anybody to speak in opposition? In opposition? In opposition? There being none, that portion of the hearing's closed. You have an outdoor seating, and I think one of the things that we're trying to figure out here, you know, this is a learn-as-you-go process, as I said. How far out are you going to go?
We typically go halfway into the street.
Okay, and do you fence that all off?
Yes. This
how-
would be an exact replication of what we normally do, just under a different type of license.
Okay, so you've done it out in the street before, and you've served beer and wine out there?
Every year, yes.
Okay. And this is, if this license goes through, it'll allow you to, like, have a mixed drink out there? But you're not
Yes,
going to
correct.
expand out any further? You're gonna
Correct.
do the same-
Actually, the city, through the police department and/or Chris Samaras, comes out and lets us know how far we can go out.
Oh, good, okay. And they're going to do that for everybody? Mm-hmm. Beautiful. So Chris Maris is going to take care of that. That's better. We don't have to worry
In
about it.
fact, it's included right in the folk festival packet that they give to businesses that we as business owners don't determine how far we go out. We have to wait until the police and the city come out and let us know. They draw chalk lines for us.
All right, so we don't set any
No,
space. The police and,
What needs to be understood is that Frankie Dakota, as other business owners downtown who have restaurants, where in the past they were able to apply for a one-day all-alcoholic license. However, the License Commission may not grant such a license to a business corporation or a manager of a business corporation, all alcoholic, just a beer and wine. However, if the business wishes to offer anything beyond beer and wine, the alternative is that what you're proposed to do now is to allow them to take their existing license for the restaurant, incorporate not only the existing sidewalk seating area they have presently as part of their licensed premises, but also to add to that part of Merrimack Street that is in close proximity to the place of business, which would be the terms of which the line of demarcation or that area which they will be using will be determined by the downtown coordinator, by the commanding officer of the Lowell Police Department as they see fit. And there is precedent for allowing Mambo Grill and other business owners to go out into Merrimack Street, and I'm sure the area that they've had use of in the past will be approximate, if not identical, to what they've had in the past for this year.
All right, so I'll make a motion to go ahead and approve the modification of the premises to include any space as denoted or demarked by the Folk Festival Committee and, I guess, the Police Department when they're setting it up. And this should be part of their,
So you have a portable
Permanent
fence or
license.
something available that you put out?
Say that again? I didn't hear you.
barrier.
A barrier or something?
Yes, we
thing?
rent that, yeah.
Okay.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor say yes,
yes.
okay? Now, this is gonna go to the city council, as you probably well know.
Yes.
And then from that, it's gonna have to go to Boston, so, I don't know, I get Ryan will keep everybody informed as to, where it's at.
Very
Okay.
well, thank you.
All right.
The only other thing, Frankie, I'm gonna tell everybody else this also. Once the thing is done, have your licenses right out where somebody can see them, whether you'd have them on the wall or, so that, we don't get into any, you're in my area, geez.
Let me just make sure that we're clear. This is a permanent modification for any such time when these boundaries are moved, right?
Right.
So they don't have to come in again next year. It's already as long as it's licensed, okay?
Right. If this gets passed,
So if this gets
it'll be the
passed,
same next year and
it's
the
the
year
same.
after, and
It's basically
we
the
won't
li-
have to do it all over again.
Right. The idea is that whenever there's any event downtown where they allow street seating, et cetera, your premises will be modified to include that.
Which is just the folk festival.
Provided you want to pay the licensing fee. Okay, next on the agenda.
Commission will now open the hearing on an application by ATP Restaurant, Inc., doing business as Cobblestone, Scott D. Plath, manager, the all-alcoholic beverage restaurant licensee for premises at 91 Dutton Street for alteration of premises.
Okay, come up, introduce yourself for the record, Scott.
I am Scott Plath.
Hi. Gentlemen, sounds like you lost your voice.
I'm just nervous, Wally.
Oh, you don't be nervous, don't worry. We haven't got anybody with a gun today. Okay, being a public hearing, let's start by asking, does anybody speak in favor of this, in favor of this? In favor of this? You want to get up? Come up to the mic if you want to say something. Introduce yourself for the record.
Robin DuPel, Cobblestones.
Okay?
I'm in favor.
You're in favor of it, okay? Anybody speak in opposition? In opposition, in opposition? Okay. Yes.
Wally, my name is Ed McNess, and I'm here representing the Lowell Masonic Association, Cobblestone's neighbor, and we were here just in concern to see what the permit and application entails.
Yeah.
To make sure that, again, both organizations are comfortable with what's going on with the application. So,
Okay, have you seen the drawing of what he's going to do?
I have not.
All right, why don't you come up here? Bob, why don't you come up here? Take a look at it. He's not going to block the street completely. This is, I presume, the railroad, the tracks. He's going to be in here. The front of his place is here. This is his, okay, where it's green.
If I may just
No.
point out, the green is what you see as existing, part of his outside seating. That's right along the corner of the building and inside the wrought iron fence. The-
This is Arcan Drive over here.
That's correct. So there's the garden, sort of does this shape from here, and we're gonna butt against the building, not even 20% of that entire area, hugging to the building, and sort of like a semicircle.
Did they close off Arcan Drive?
This is already closed off, it's fenced in,
On that side, okay.
There's a plan underneath
Yeah,
that
okay.
one that the DPD offers, that's part of the, no, you missed it. It's right underneath.
Oh, okay,
That's a drawing,
right there.
So this is Arcan Drive, this is the fence right along here, we're back in here. So we're gonna
Yeah, but Arcan, the street here is open. No?
Yeah, but it's all fenced.
The fence on it, yeah, I understand that, yeah, but what I'm concerned about is a fire truck or something getting by to the temple. You don't want to isolate the temple into a place where they can't get to it.
Sure.
Okay, you got any questions about that?
These guys' main concern, they voiced to me when I came in, which is completely understandable, they were wondering how people were gonna get there, because they don't want people coming in and out of the area between our buildings.
Yeah.
But that was already addressed by the city, who said it would have to be that people entered from inside of Cobblestones or off the dining room.
Okay.
Okay. So we
Right.
won't serve anybody that doesn't come through the.
Come through the best.
There are gates in the corridor, and we mentioned to Scotty that they may have to be secure.
Okay.
And I think he's in agreement with that.
Put a barrel in front of them,
Well,
something
actually,
to keep
we'd
it.
like them locked.
Oh,
Well, okay, but if
It's
you,
a pretty discreet corridor.
you may have
where
to ask about the fire department before you can lock it.
yeah, I was just gonna say
I was gonna say the fire
that. You
department
probably
may
have to
a
talk to the
problem
fire
with that,
department.
But,
Okay.
because it may count as an exit, but
There is a gate on one end
Yeah.
that, and they need to be, we're just trying to keep transient people from coming out.
No camping, oh, no overnight camping.
We do have some people that actually use it as a pet food, because it is a discreet area.
we have a gentleman sleeping in this area here.
So we just, again, and for his concern too, because we don't want somebody going in and harassing his customers or sneaking in and.
Okay.
We're on the same page.
Okay, no problem.
I would think on the folk festival, the police would be.
Okay, yeah.
This is actually, we're not, this is more for after the folk festival, because I think this really isn't concerning the folk festival. This is a long-term thing. And
Yeah, well, that's all
we've
long-term.
worked well with, as an association with Scott. I hadn't seen it, so.
What's this here, Scott, here?
that's gonna be the street,
That's for the
open area,
folk
folk
festival.
festival,
Folk festival's gonna go on here too?
onto the main street.
But you've always been there before. Yeah, this has been your beer and wine outdoor venue. Okay, and this is only the folk festival, or if there should be some other event that comes up. So it's not a permanent thing, you're not going, okay?
Now, will the permit include this area?
Yep. Yep. It's going to be just a folk festival, that's all.
Because it's only when the street is closed so that it can go into the
Right.
street.
Okay? Okay? All right? Okay. Thanks. Anybody got any other questions? Okay?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Thank you for clarifying that, gentlemen.
Yep,
Thank
you're
you.
welcome.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Okay?
Thank you.
Now, again, Sky, you gotta, you can order stuff, whatever you need to do, but you've gotta follow this through at the licensing office. Like I say, tomorrow night, the city council, and after that, we've been told that they put feelers out to Boston to find out if Boston would be in favor of this, but that doesn't mean anything, because we have people come in all the time that say, oh, don't worry about a thing,
And I would
got this thing
recommend,
made.
Yeah, Wally, I know that this was a law that was in existence before that nobody knew about. I just wanted to say for the record that we're really appreciative of the work that City Hall is doing on our behalf and helping businesses operate downtown. And this guy, Ryan, he's all over it, and he's juggling an awful lot of information, and he
Yes.
doesn't give up till the job gets done. It's greatly
He's
appreciated.
a lot more patient than I am.
I would make a point of calling him at least 2 or 3 times a day, every day.
Yeah,
until
just to
you-
make sure he's not sleeping at his desk.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Next on the agenda.
Commission will now open a hearing on the application by the Middle Street Village, Inc., doing business as the Village Smokehouse, Alan F. Kaplan, manager, the all-alcoholic beverages restaurant licensee for premises at 92-98 Middle Street for alteration of premises.
You see here? Come up to the lectern, sir, introduce yourself.
Alan Kaplan.
Okay, Mr., have you got an outside seating area?
We had one last year for the Folk Fest.
You did have one?
Yes, sir.
Okay? And
If I can just say one thing.
Yeah.
With respect to Mr. Kaplan and the Village Smokehouse, with the exception of the last year's Folk Festival, they don't have anything that's been approved by the city council, other than the fact that he had access to Middle Street at the Folk Festival last year. What the council is doing for the first time is going to incorporate, as you see in the plan, the frontage of the building, of the sidewalk portion as part of his licensed premises, in addition to that portion of Middle Street, about from the curb to midpoint of Middle Street or thereabouts, as part of the licensed premises. So, just as a reminder, Mr. Kaplan, the city of Lowell needs a liability policy, $500,000. Yes. Okay.
So, okay, now, just so we make sure we get this, this piece that they've got in the front of his place will be permanent after the festival.
Right.
And then the other would only be on a special function like the folk.
Well, no, it's all the same. It's just that what's different with Mr. Kaplan and
Yeah.
the Village Smokehouse is where the others have something already existing
Outside, that's
for
what I'm saying,
sidewalk
yeah.
seating. The Village Smokehouse has nothing
Nothing, right.
at the moment, other than the special one-day license
Right.
that was granted last year
Right,
for the
so,
Folk Festival weekend.
so he's gonna get to keep this after and have an outside seating area. And this is only during the folk festival.
If you were to go down there and inspect the premises,
Yeah,
you'll see that from a practical point of view,
yeah,
that portion of the sidewalk in front of the Village Smokehouse is kind of narrow,
too narrow, okay.
kind of. But the fact is, we need to keep some consistency with the fact that I know for a fact, and this has nothing to do with any of our applicants today, but from prior dealings with the Alcohol Beverages Control Commission, they have a guidelines, a policy, that they like to have the licensed premises, there be some contiguous connection to the premises. In other words, for a licensee to have a restaurant and to make the leap from the sidewalk into the street might be a bit much, as far as the ABC is concerned, as far as
okay.
their policy is concerned. What we want to show is that if the wherewithal is there, and particularly maybe that weekend of the Folk Festival, where there may be some restriction on pedestrian traffic, you could possibly have a table and a couple of chairs up against the building itself. And then, for purposes of allowing pedestrian right-of-way access through wheelchair people that need to have access without
What we're
traversing
saying
on the
is-
cobblestone.
Yep.
What we're saying is we're going to extend the premises for the purposes of the folk festival from the front of the building out to the middle of the street, whatever area is limited by the police department, subject to the fact that there's a right-of-way for pedestrians okay.
Okay,
Just that it has to start from the front of the building
Right.
out,
Right.
subject to any liens for
so,
passageway.
but he doesn't have any of that after the folk festival's over.
Right.
Well, no, he
That-
does, but he may not have there may not be the width to do it.
I will leave it to, I would think, what you're asking is essentially, I would invite you to go down there and inspect the
I
premises.
know what you're saying, it can't be done.
It can be done if you want to
Knock out the sidewalk.
push little kids out into the street. I want a kid,
Okay.
I want a kid.
Oh, yeah, sure, it's on television too, yeah,
Charge
don't
of
like
that.
little kids, huh, that's the type of guy.
Show the kids.
Okay, I don't see a problem.
We just
Motion
have to
to,
open up for a hearing though.
oh, that's right, too, I'm sorry, anybody in opposition, anybody, anybody for it, nobody's for it, you don't get it, see you later, okay?
I'll
Motion to
make a
approve,
motion to
seconded,
Seconded.
all in favor say yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Thank you.
okay.
He's just
He
gonna
can
get the
ignore his dry
liability.
humor.
You told him that, right? So was that-
Next. Sorry about that, I didn't mean to confuse you, that's what I meant. He didn't get to keep the sidewalk area after.
Well, the sidewalk can be used. I mean, quite frankly, the Village Smokehouse can use the sidewalk. But if you see what's there, you have a number of man-made objects placed. You have this kiosk for the parking, and you have other issues on the curb. And then it's just a matter of making sure that he could, if he wanted to, put a table.
Yeah. You can do that. That's why you're a big businessman.
The commission will now open a hearing on an application by J&I Restaurant Incorporated, doing business as Fortunatos. Yusuf Ayyub is the manager of record, the all-alcoholic beverage restaurant licensee for premises at 44 Palmer Street for alteration of premises.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Introduce yourself for the record.
Yusuf Ayub. That's very loud, sorry. Yusuf Ayub.
Open it to the
Okay, anybody here to speak in favor, in favor, in favor? Anybody here to speak in opposition, in opposition, in opposition? That's closed. Next up,
I'll make a motion to approve.
Fortunato, you have an outside
It's gonna
area.
be the
Yeah,
outside area.
We've
okay.
been doing it for many years. We know
Yeah,
the rules, we know
and
the
you've done,
policies.
okay.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Next on the agenda.
Commission will now open a hearing on the application by Tyler Perry Corp., doing business as the Dubliner. Lorene Lucier is the manager of record, the all-alcoholic beverage restaurant licensee for premises at 197 Market Street for alteration of premises.
Introduce yourself for the record.
And there's also the communication.
Tom Economo from the Dubliner.
Okay.
For the record, application was advertised in the Lowell Sun newspaper
Yeah.
for Friday, July 2nd. I have no proof that the abutters had been notified. I've discussed the matter with Mr. Economo prior to this hearing today. And he may want to share with you what our conversation entailed. In addition to that matter, he's also requesting in my communication to the board about a waiver of license fees for a beer and wine license that had been approved at the meeting of June 24th.
I was approved for the beer and wine license, and I was going for the new outside liquor one. And after we had paid all the fees, we found out that it was gonna be borderline that I'd even make it in time, because he found out that, Ryan, that I had 29 abutters. Like, usually everybody has 2 or 3.
You have
I had
a-
29 and like
You have a condo complex abutting you?
next door, yeah. So
Oh.
I was under the impression it was you give one for the association or something, you know? And I didn't even think of it. So I paid all the fees, and then I'd have to pay 29, return receipts too. And I probably wouldn't even have had them in time done, so when I had mentioned it to Ryan, he had asked me, he says, well, you can go and ask if they could, waive it, and I opt out of the other thing. It's too late now anyway. I mean, they would never have gotten it in time, the 29 return receipts.
All right, so you're just asking us to approve a beer and wine into the streets?
Say that again?
You're asking us to keep the beer and wine in place and just,
Yeah,
as opposed to an all-alcohol
all
extension of
alcoholic,
premises?
yeah, the new all alcoholic. I was
Right.
gonna get that one, and I paid the fees. He could return the one from Boston, because it hadn't gone yet, but I paid all the ones in Lowell and stuff, and then I found out that, I had to have 29, when I went up to see him,
Okay.
my stack of return receipts I had to get done.
Just for,
Oh,
this, just a point of reference, at our meeting on June 24th, the application for beer and wine was before the License Commission for the Dubliner
Right,
for the 3 days of the Folk Festival weekend, which was approved.
okay.
Then subsequent to that action, the
Was the
matter of
application for modification?
having this hearing on amending his existing license
Okay.
to include outside area that would be for the beer and wine site. However, it would be for all alcoholic beverages. Given the situation where the office tried to get in touch with Tom at the time of the date of the publication on July 2nd, it just didn't work out as I'd hoped. He theoretically could have sent the notices, but unbeknownst to the License Commission office, until the matter is filed, until we go through the motions of getting the fees are submitted, which according to the communication is, as I can accurately state, is true. You have a $75 filing fee to the city of Lowell. $175 for cover the expense of a publication of a legal notice
Lowell Sun's money.
that goes into an escrow account,
Okay.
which, when the bill comes due, it's paid out of that escrow account to the local newspaper. And then there's the $15 fee to obtain a list of abutters from the city assessor's office. So I guess is the breakdown on the fees that were for the purpose of this hearing and for this application. The question is, so the $75 per beer and wine license for each day total is $225. So Tom is asking, obviously, the board to waive that fee but that's strictly a discretionary matter on the board.
I'll make a motion to basically, it's basically refunding a fee that was paid, and it's a license application that's not gonna go forward, right?
Well, the only thing is, I think.
I mean, the 175 is already spent, and we owe that to the Lowell Sun.
We have, that's
In any
already been
event, right?
covered in terms
Yeah.
of, so the question is, if I issue the beer and wine licenses, normally you would pay $75 per day. That's the understanding up front. I mean, people
Okay.
know that. It's just the question is, there's no precedent for this type of action of the board to waive a fee under these circumstances. There's no precedent for it. Usually, if we could, you would just re-advertise again to do the hearing at a later date but
I'll
That's-
second the motion to waive the fees.
Yeah.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor, say yes.
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 Thank you.
Okay?
File that under the category of it happens.
Sure.
And that was just it. I take.
The Lowell Sun got their money.
I don't care.
That's all they care about.
Pretty mercenary group.
Commission will open the hearing on the application by Blue Shamrock Inc., Nicholas C. Petrakis, manager, the all-alcoholic beverage restaurant licensee for premises at 105 Market Street for alteration of premises.
Anyone to speak in
Introduce
favor?
yourself for the record.
Nick Petrakis, representing the Blue Shamrock.
Nick,
Open, well, you gotta open.
oh,
it to
we'll
the
open
public.
it. Anybody to speak in favor, in favor, in favor? Oh,
Ah, I knew Mark was here.
he would.
I'd like you to be as eloquent and as lengthy as possible. We have no place else, and you're the only people here, so go ahead, take your time.
Mr. Chairman and members of the
You're out of
License
order. Sit
Commission.
down.
Keep going.
Chairman and members of the License Commission, I urge that the board unanimously approve this. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Easy for you to say. Anybody else in opposition? In opposition, in opposition? That portion of the hearing's closed. We got somewhat of a quandary here, Nick. Did you mail out your mailings to notify the church and whatnot?
Yeah, well, the church and all those things, yeah, they get notified. It was the abutters that, I had one abutter, and the Friday, Ryan called me to come in to get the thing to mail out. They give me a thing, and I didn't make it in on Friday. I was tied up with my sister, but I came in on that, Monday was a holiday. I came in on that Tuesday, and City Hall was closed down because of the power thing, whatever, so I could get in the building, but I couldn't get in the License Commission because the doors were locked. So what I did was I only had one abutter, so I went to the abutter and had him write something for me. I don't know, Ryan said, he didn't know whether that was sufficient enough, but I only had one abutter. And he said, Nick, I don't care.
What did you do to notify the church?
Well, I thought those just went out. Don't those things go out?
The church, isn't the shrine within 500 feet?
Nick, in 2005, the Shamrock applied for the sidewalk seating that you presently have,
Yeah.
and St. Joseph's Shrine is within 500 feet. And that was to be notified.
Oh, yeah, I notified them previously before I notified all the abutters. For my existing,
When previously?
are we talking about my existing outdoor seating?
In
Yes.
2005, yes.
When I first went for that, yeah.
This is a new application that required the same notification sent to the, same type of notification sent to the church as the governing body, which has the right to written objection. It needs to be notified of that fact.
But when I picked up the list for the abutters, I thought the only one was Rob Nason next door to me. That was the only one that was listed.
Chairman, if I may just tell you for the record, general laws of Massachusetts are pretty explicit in terms of proper notification. It may not be a case where anyone will object to such matters as this, but it's required incumbent upon the applicant to send copy of the notice, a true copy of the notice, which is published in the local newspaper, within 3 days of its date of publication. It's specifically stated in Chapter 138, Section 15A, and I deal with that all of the time. It's nothing new. The licensee had done it in the past, in fact, did it for the sidewalk seating area they presently have back in 2005. There is, yes, one abutter. The landlord, the property owner was listed as an abutter, but it's the property owner, the landlord, and Nason, which has the abutting property.
Market Street.
In addition, there is St. Joseph's Shrine, which is within 500 feet. I advised all of the applicants today, before at the time of the publication, to send to each of there's 2 churches and the school department. The churches would be the St. Joseph's Shrine and St. Anne's Episcopal Church. I didn't trouble the engineer's office to ascertain if each and every one was within 500 feet, but just to be on the safe side, I would advise everybody to send a notice to each one of them. And all they had to do was send, with the public notice, was an attached letter, which I had prepared in advance, to just advise the governing body, if they wish to object, they had to do so in writing to the licensing board. It would be incumbent upon the licensing board then, if it was such a written objection, to make the determination if it would have any detrimental effect on the church itself or the school. There had been none in the past. It was highly unlikely there would be one this time, but that doesn't change the fact that state law is pretty specific.
The only thing I can say is, we did send, or there were notices sent with respect to all the other applicants, correct?
Right, what I
mean, it's not like nobody, they didn't know that there were hearings today on modifications, or...
I have here, as you can look at, and you
I'll
look
take
at
your
yourself,
word for it,
the affidavits that have been signed. I can't, in all honesty, have Nick sign an affidavit, and I cannot witness his signature, because it would be false to say that he's attesting to having notified the property owners touching the abutters. That's part of the statute.
Well, the abutter, I think, is notified. It's the question, is the church. If the abutter is the one that signed the letter saying that he's consenting,
I can
right?
tell you, I don't know if this Commissioner Bayless can remember, but there was a package store up on Fairmount Street, near Fairmount Street. An attorney representing the applicant, who presently, the applicant, the licensee, has the all-alcoholic license for the package store. But initially, when they filed that application, the notice to the church, I don't know if it was the school department, the school department did not include a statement in which the governing body of the school department would need to have been notified of sending a written objection. They have to be told in the notice that there has to be a written objection in which the licensing board needs to be made aware of. Failure to do that sentence disqualified the application. I know it goes back a few years, but it was, in fact, it was an embarrassment for all concerned, but it was a technical issue that some group of neighbors were objecting to the application, brought it to light, and came to light. And it was just one of those. I mean, everything is set in motion, the wheels are in motion to, the council has it on their agenda for tomorrow's meeting to include this added area. In fairness to the other applicants and all those that wish to, it doesn't make, there's no reason for this, Mr. Chairman. Quite honestly, there's no reason for this.
What you're saying is he didn't do what he was supposed to do.
How many times did I leave a message, Nick?
Hey, left me on Friday. When I came in, I couldn't help it. City Hall was closed, and to be honest with you, my sister takes priority. It was a medical thing, you know what I mean?
I have no fault
So
to you
if
there.
it's me having outdoor premises, or me taking care of my sister's health, I'm gonna take care of my sister's health.
I called your house 3 times. You have a brother, Peter.
He was with me, with my sister.
I have nothing more to say.
You know, maybe you don't have anybody who's sick in your family, I don't know. And God bless you if you don't. I'm not saying that. And if I can't get it, I told you, didn't I tell you when I came to see you? I understand. Didn't I say that? To come? Yeah, I guess he could have. I guess maybe you think I'm in contact with him more than I am. He's here more than he is in contact with me.
No, I know.
No.
And even when I saw you, didn't I say I understand if I can't? But I'm just trying.
You've been advised. You want to
Right.
vote and approve it, you go right ahead.
I'm not asking for anything that I haven't done in the past
Absolutely.
5 folk festivals, you know what I mean?
I mean, I would vote to approve it, subject to the law department approving our decision.
Well, the problem is this, if we,
Just to approve it.
If you want to vote,
Yeah.
my suggestion is if you want to vote to approve it, just approve it. By the time it all comes out to whether
In the
we
wash is gonna, yeah.
Folk Fest is going to be long gone.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to appeal your action today, we don't, but the problem lies with, if not this year, next year.
Next year.
I don't think Nick has may not remember next year from what happened today, but the point is, your action today carries over into the following subsequent
Right.
years. Unless it's taken to.
Nick, you know, and I can appreciate both sides. I'd like to try to compromise the issue. If you pick, do you have a blank, one of those forms?
Nothing more to say, Mr. Chairman.
No, do you have one of those forms, though, in the office that you're supposed to have sent out? Well, my thought is,
What I am. Yeah, that's a good point.
that wouldn't work either, though, never mind. That wouldn't work either. They're gonna meet tomorrow night, so we can't possibly get anything out by then. What do you wanna do?
well, we're hitting the practical snag. The practical snag is gonna be that you have an existing outdoor premises, and it's gonna have like a magical line
Yeah.
that becomes beer and wine from there forward.
The way things stand now, would I still have my existing outdoor premises, the one that's already approved? All right, then I'm gonna withdraw my application because I know it's causing you guys a lot of consternation at the fact that I'm gonna lose a lot of money by not being able to do what everyone else is doing, but it's my fault, so I'll blame myself. And I respectfully ask to withdraw my application for the rest of it because I don't want to put anybody on the spot and I don't want to cause any dissension among the ranks either.
Well, I guess,
So just because, you know, you guys have always been good to me, so the fault lying with me, I'll do
You
that.
know, the thing is, Nick, we'd like to work it out for you. There's so many issues
I understand.
involved, and one of them being liability. If we knowingly grant you a license outdoor for an outdoor area, and it's on record that we knew it wasn't done right,
I understand.
you know, where does...
Well, I have my liquor liability and general
No,
liability.
no, I understand that.
I'm one of
but-
the places that does.
law, and you're gonna have this outside area, the thing there, I'm sitting here, and I'm saying to myself, and I'm not gonna be absolutely honest with you, I'm saying, you know, Ryan, he and I kinda tangle at times, because I think he goes too far to help people. There has to be somewhere along the line that people have to help themselves. And I know you understand that.
That's why I don't want to cause any dissension.
But on the same sense, I'm saying, here's everybody else that's gonna do something, and I just have I could really be wrong on it, maybe I'm gonna be speaking out of turn, but I got a feeling that this is just gonna fly through like nothing, and all of these people after Boston approves it, is gonna have this license every year. They're not gonna have to go back. And I'm just wondering how difficult it's gonna be to get one, after the initial wave.
So basically, pardon the language, I'd be screwed for a long time.
Well,
if I
actually,
didn't get it now.
We'd have
I
to
think,
reapply for
no,
another
I
one.
think I got a better suggestion than that.
Oh, they got the legal notice. Yeah,
All right.
That's all I'm asking. I just
Okay. Since this is not like applying for a one-day license just for the folk festival, this is applying for a permanent modification of your premises to include any street areas during any festivals when the streets are closed, all right? We could, basically, you've already paid the money to have this notified, you've already paid the money for the
Is that money
application.
back, or is that money gone too? I did pay the fees.
I mean, we could do continue this meeting for 2 more weeks to give you time to mail out the notice, right? That wouldn't get you in time for the folk festival, but you could have a beer and wine license for the folk festival, but then we end up with the imaginary line from the outdoor premises to the extended outdoor premises.
Yeah, is that possible, what you just said?
That's
I
possible.
don't know if,
Well, I guess we could treat it like 2 ways. We could say, look, you can get a beer and wine for the 3 days that are coming up, all right, for the extended portion of the premises, and then continue this hearing that's currently open, right? In time for them to give further notice to those people, so that way when next year rolls around, this matter's already taken care of.
Okay, wait a minute. I think Brian might have.
Oh, wait.
Good. Okay, we're gonna have a meeting on the 22nd. All right? I mean, this is only if you wanna do it. This is gonna be difficult, but it could be done. Okay? If we approved it on the 22nd, which is before the folk festival, you go down the next day and take it down to the ABC.
It's gonna be approved by them
And
in
get
one
somebody,
day.
they gotta approve it in one day.
So maybe you know someone down there.
All the other
or
ones
someone
would
that-
have already been through, so there'd been a precedent set. Do you understand? Because all these others gonna already be all granted. Yeah, we're saying that, and I shouldn't be talking that way. All the other ones are gonna be heard and judged on. So, like, if for some reason they come back and they say no, then there's no sense in you doing it either, because they're not gonna, But I have a feeling that this is gonna go through.
okay?
But that would only give you that one day. Somebody'd have to go to Boston the next morning to get the approval.
But even if I couldn't use it for the folk festival this year, it would still be granted for all the years to come,
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
Exactly.
That's what I don't want to see. See,
Well,
that's
that's why
the
we don't
thing.
want to close you out here, because we're talking about making your life easier from like now till.
You may know someone that,
Forever.
that can get it done on that Friday too.
If you can get it through the
Well, it's worth
ABC.
for me to do it for the future anyways.
Right.
Yeah.
Even if I can only use my outdoor, the existing ones for this year, for the future ones in the years to come, God willing.
Right.
Right.
Like I'm saying too, I have no problem with, if we can't get it through, having a beer and wine area extended from your current
Can I
premises.
do that?
Yeah, I mean, you can get a beer and wine one day for the outdoor area that you don't currently have.
Exactly
But-
what the Dubliner just did.
Yeah.
Right, they just came in and they said, well, we don't want to do the extension, we just get a beer and wine for that weekend.
So
I'm
if
good
they
with
didn't
that.
grant it, I could still get the one-day licenses for those days,
If
Friday,
you-
Saturday, Sunday?
You file the proper paperwork, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say, yeah, let's continue it until that day, and on that day, I'm inclined to say, well, if you can't get it through the, ABCC in a day, then, I've got no problem with a one-day beer and wine. But, you're gonna have to do something to make
See,
sure
it all
that
boils
your
down to the
current
same thing.
premises,
You got liquor liability insurance, but your liquor liability insurance covers where you are now, what is considered your licensed area.
I follow you.
right,
If we give you a license and we grant you to go outside that licensed area, God, can you imagine the nightmare the insurance company's gonna, cause if somebody gets hurt and they say, well, where'd you at? Well, I was down to Blue Shamrock. Well, were you standing over there or were you over here?
were you on that side of the table or that
You know
side of
what
the
I mean?
table? And that's,
And we
I
just
follow what
jeopardize
you're
it,
saying, I follow what you're saying.
you know?
so,
Why don't we continue it to the 22nd?
All right.
all right. And you can get the notices mailed before then, right?
Yeah, I'll do it right away.
You can get them mailed this afternoon, so.
Do you still have an envelope for him or did you kind of file everything or? Ryan?
And while you're at it, mail one to your abutter, even though he signed a letter,
Yeah.
just so if anybody raises a technical objection, you can say, no, notice was mailed on this day.
I'm at a loss for words, Mr. Chairman. I've spoken more than I should have, and
No, we appreciate that.
I
we
can only
appreciate you,
apologize
but
to
we're trying
Nick. I want to apologize to Nick. I didn't want to infer anything regarding the family, and it was not my intent to do so.
No.
Just want to say what I want to say, please. Sorry about that, Nick.
I apologize too for getting hot-headed.
We're
You've
trying to
always
do
been good to
things,
me, Ryan. You've bent over backwards to take care of me.
but the thing is, the thing has already been, it's my understanding, according to the law department, this whole thing has been established in that on Wednesday of this week, the executive director of the ABCC is expecting to receive the approved applications for what is taking place today by the License Commission. In order to receive them, the director has set up certain personnel in the ABC office to receive such applications and to expedite the process that would be required of the ABC to approve such alteration of premises, so that the particular applicants, licensees, would have their licensed premises amended in anticipation of the Folk Festival weekend. Now, the ABC Commission has meetings twice a week, I believe. They would need to act on that application submitted by the local authority after the ABC front office has worked on the papers, whatever they need to do to submit it to the ABC Commission itself for approval. I can't speak for the ABC. I know one of the individuals from the law department did speak to the director. I did not speak with the director. The director was understanding of the situation, said that they would do it if it was done in the manner in which I've just described, that someone was to hand carry the applications to the ABC office on Wednesday, July 14th. This is also considering the License Commission had acted on the application at the hearing on July 12th. Also in consideration of the Lowell City Council acting to allow for use of the public way in keeping with city ordinance, as it normally would do in a sidewalk seating license agreement with a licensee. Those two pieces to the puzzle, hand carried to the ABC on the 14th. The ABC assured the law department, with that scenario in mind, that they would get a turnaround. Also, it was advised by the executive director of the ABC that one of the issues that will need to be addressed would be dealing with the Department of Unemployment Assistance, which is a state agency. The state agency that deals with unemployment assistance needs to check to make sure that licensees, business owners have made, I guess, payments to the Commonwealth for unemployment. And somebody from the Department of Unemployment Assistance spoke with one of the solicitors on the matter. I was able to submit to the solicitor to forward to the person from the Department of Unemployment Assistance the FID numbers for the licensees that would be before the License Commission today. My understanding was there was maybe one or two minor issues with some of the business owners, but nothing that couldn't be addressed, not necessarily at the immediate time, but in the near future. So the wheels are set in motion to go. And then that's all I can offer you right now. So I would not suggest to this board to have the applicant licensee submit something to the ABCC on the 23rd of July, a Friday, because for all intents and purposes, the ABCC would, I don't know what they might say, because
Well, the worst thing they can say is no.
that's
Right?
true.
The worst
That's
thing
very
they,
true.
the worst thing they can say is no to have it done that one day. All right, otherwise it would just go into the pile of to be done for the next couple of weeks, whenever, so that he would be set for next year. But I mean, if we've already got them the information, so DOR can already run their checks and unemployment can already run their checks, we could at least let them try it. Again, the worst
So
they
you wish to continue this hearing to the 22nd?
continue this hearing to the 22nd,
I'll second the motion.
and he'll get the notices out by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Right, today, if I,
Today,
I don't know what time it is, but
okay? But,
And it'll be on Mr. Petracas
yeah.
to get it done.
Okay?
And you got a copy of your notice that was published in the Sun? Just make sure you get all your
get it,
mailings. Yeah. Get all your mailings out, get them into us. We'll see you on the 22nd, but you want to get those out like
today,
literally today.
I appreciate everything.
All right.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say yes?
Yes.
Yes. Give him a shot.
Yeah, the 22nd, today's the 12th, he's gotta do it today. Yeah.
Here you go, Nick. If you want to come up here, I can give you what you need.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Yeah, he's got the list right here for you.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say yes?
Yes.
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 Coming home?
Coming home, Benjamin.